right? So the better shifts we have, the more profitable they can become, because now all of a sudden, instead of having to cut, we're raising sales and we're having add-ons and we're building the business instead of just trying to cut, right? And then from a shift manager standpoint too, the more successful shifts are going to be faster. They're going to have better guest experiences, right? The delivery.
People are going to come back. Good morning, BX3.
Good morning, Mr. Riley.
Good morning, Eric. How are you, sir?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. A beautiful day.
It is. We both look pretty sharp.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. Right? Yeah. Nikki's starting to dress me a little bit. So, yeah.
I got to get one of those, it's called like Stitch Fix or something, where they send you like a monthly box of like new clothes or something. You have to send in your sizes and your style, and then send you stuff or something.
It makes it easier.
It does.
Yeah. Sure. Otherwise, I'm telling you, like 20 years of the same T-shirts. So yeah.
Sponsor us.
Yeah. Oh, setting expectations.
I know. Yeah. Sometimes people just don't know what we expect sometimes. And that's on us as leaders. You know, we got to make sure that we're aligned.
One of the hardest things to do, everyone talks about communication, right? And I'm telling you, I think he's going to say it, right? Left hand, right hand, like we have to know what each other are saying. But I just love doing the exercise where, hey, tell me our expectations, right? And I'll talk to other organizations about this. And we did it. Like we did this a couple weeks ago at this point. Where I asked all of our staff, right, our leadership team, to write down what our vision, our organizational vision is.
Yep.
And how do you think that went?
Well, I was there. I know I got it. I think I got it 95%. That was close.
Close. Okay.
But I don't know. As a whole group, I'd probably say 65.
Right. So maybe half, maybe 50-50, maybe a little bit more.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our vision, we were about 50-50. Let's just, give it that. And then what about like our expectations? Like what are we actually like working on right now? Our wildly important goal as an organization.
The wildly important goal is...
how do you think people did on that?
That one was a little worse.
And you were there. Yeah.
That was like...
How do you guys think they did?
That was probably like 25% maybe.
It was pretty rough.
Yeah. Because...
Yeah.
And that's the part though. We had to clarify that. Because people had what they thought was the WIG or the wildly important goal, but that really wasn't. That was like the end. That was like the final field post or something like down the road. That wasn't what we were currently focused on.
Because let's face so just for everybody in the audience here, our ambition is to reduce turnover, right?
Yep.
Like this is that whole crazy like ambition, 100% turnover to 30% turnover. Like I don't know if that's achievable, but like that's like the bee's knees of like let's go for this. And then our vision is about empowering and developing our team, right? So the vision's a little bit different. And then our wildly important goal is like, what are we doing right now to help achieve our vision?
It's our one focus.
Yeah.
Our one focus right now.
Yeah. So it was super interesting. Yeah. And I think even breaking that down, which is where we're going to go down the road a little bit more, right? So we have an ambition, we have a vision, we have our wildly important goal of, verifying our shift managers and making sure that basically people know how to do their job.
Yeah.
Right? Like
knowledge.
So now it's funny because, okay, what do you expect from me every day, right? What are the three things? And I think this goes both ways, right?
Sure.
As a subordinate or as a leader or whatever, like a crew person should know what their boss expects from them, and the boss should know what to expect out of their crew person every day from an alignment standpoint.
Yeah.
So,
well, and we talked earlier about my experience as a shift leader years ago, and I was in high school, right? I was my friend's boss, and sometimes that can get a little weird, but I didn't really know the full expectation.
Sure.
When it came to the business, like in my role, I thought, to be honest, I just had to keep the building from burning down and serve some food.
Right.
Which I did.
Yeah. As long as you're somewhat fast, right? And people aren't getting sick and people show up and do their job, like we're good.
Done.
Yeah.
But I think now we're shifting though to, hey, you're running a multi-million-dollar business for a period of time. Like there's some weight there. And I think doing that exercise that we're going to see here in just a second can really help align with your teams. And we're talking crew and shift manager, assistant shift manager, GM and assistant, and it goes all the way up.
Because we do. Like before we roll the clip, we have a lot of responsibilities. Like our plate is always full. We're going to look to keep it simple. And if we can keep it simple, right, it's a lot easier to execute and your team can be a lot more successful. So let's roll it.
Yeah, sounds good.
You had to right now, you have all your teams in front of you right now, but if you had your entire market in front of you and you had to boil it down to three things, I want you to write this down. Everybody do it by themselves. What are the top three things that you expect of your teams every single day? What are the top 3 things? Write them down right now. Write them down right now. What are the top 3 things? And I know some of you, you're working as a team, and some of you report up to each other right now, or you have your leaders in the room. But let's just start by yourselves in your own. What are the top 3 expectations that you have of your people every single day? Write that down. All you have to ask is your team. Whatever those 3 things are, just ask your team members. What are the top 3 things you think I expect of you every single day? And if you're lying, pat yourself on the back. And if not, it's not an indictment. It just means we got work to do. Because if those 3 things don't show up with your team right off the bat, there's misalignment. And they're doing what they think you want them to do, but you're not on the same television.
So clear as mud.
Super clear.
Yeah.
So clear.
I'm going to tell you, do it. Like, have that exercise, do it with your team, do it with your family, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are some things
what do you expect of me?
Like, even from your kids, I can only, I'm going to go home tonight and ask the kids what they think they expect from me.
That's a great... That is a great activity to do. Yeah. I didn't even think about doing it with family, but how clarifying would that be? If your kids are like, I expect you to give me ice cream all the time.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to see what happens. I'll let you know. Yeah. So I think as an organization, we've tried to simplify it, but from the conversation we had earlier, right? Like, even though we've tried to simplify it, like, people still don't really know what our expectations are. They still don't really know what our vision is and our wildly important goal are, and maybe like that day-to-day operations stuff. So if we're going to really break it down as an organization, we have to be profitable.
Yep. We're a business, got to make the money.
We have to, right?
And what's cool about us and the growing organization that we are is we're reinvesting all of that into our people.
Yep.
It's not to pad the pockets. It's to grow and to continue our vision of empowering and developing people.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's where people are maybe mistaken, because from a profit standpoint, we talk a lot about like labor expectations. We talk a lot about food cost expectations, but there's a whole laundry list of things that we have to regularly do to make sure that we're profitable, including vendor relationships and, contracts that we're signing and expenditures we're using and the amount of degreaser that we have in the restaurant. So, but profit in general, right? Like, we do have goals. And our team should really know what those goals are. And I think sometimes we don't break it down enough, right? Like, hey, this is the goal for the month, but how do we, from shift to shift?
I was just going to say that, because we've mentioned that before in a couple of different training sessions that we've had, where, hey, your shift manager is responsible for their shift results.
Yep.
What is their labor for their shift? What is their XYZ? Because I think before it was kind of like, to your point, it was like a shared pot. Like, hey, if you're not hitting this number by the end of the day, you fail.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a heavy expectation. But if you break it down like that, it seems a little bit more attainable.
Yeah. And I think for our shift managers who are listening, our assistants who are listening, let's say that your goal, is 25, right? Okay, well, what do you have to run during breakfast? What do you have to run during lunch? And what do you have to run during dinner? Because if breakfast, runs 2% over, are you cutting during dinner to try to help that out? Or like, are you still held to maybe running a 23 during dinner and a 21 during breakfast and a 25 during lunch? Like, how does that all play out? And I think not knowing that as a shift manager is going to make it really hard.
Yeah. I would agree.
And that's where, once again, just writing down what the expectations are, right? Like, if you want me to be profitable, then, hey, what does that look like during my shift?
I'm just imagining, like, if I did that exercise, it would be, like, the first expectation would be cut.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's not where I should go, like, initially, right? It should be, what's going to make the best decision for my shift?
Yep.
For the long haul of it, right? Not the immediate, if I cut 3 people right now, I drop 3% labor, but then I'm also not providing very good service. Yeah. So what's another one of our expectations?
All right. So profit, I think just being very clear, right, of those expectations from a shift-to-shift standpoint, right, including even food cost, right? Like, how much are you wasting on the shift? Can I waste $20, $500? Like, just knowing kind of what that number really is and how you impact that from a profit standpoint can be a really clarifying exercise if you have those conversations with your leadership. But the next conversation is really guest relations. I mean, part of this is the voice, right, and overall satisfaction. And it's not just about the number, though. It's about what the number represents.
It is.
So, overall, we're looking for like 80% or higher overall satisfaction. And that might seem like a tall task.
It could, depending on where your development is and where your restaurant is.
What's cool, though, is there's restaurants out there and there's organizations out there that are achieving that number. So I think it's also, when you're writing down, like, what do you expect from me? Showing and knowing that what we're asking for is possible. Because sometimes
just give us that little, like, it's there, like it's in the grasp. But we've talked about the weeds and the tunnel vision so many times that it's once we get them out of that, I think we've got them. We've got those people, those other players. But that part of getting them to see the successes that other people have, they just that part is hard.
And that's where good leaders are going to take the time to show them that it's possible, right? Because sometimes we ask for things, and I get it. I get asked things that seem impossible, or like, okay, maybe it's going to be really hard. Let's roll up our sleeves and do it. But to see that other restaurant teams are capable, to see that other shifts are capable, to know that, hey, we can run 80, 85% during the day, and we've done it. If we can do it once, we can do it again, right? But sometimes once again, we kind of look at this whole like 30-day approach, or maybe 3 months approach, or like the year. But if we just do it every day, if we serve the customers and we get the receipts and the overall satisfaction increases every day, and then we look at the comments and we say, okay, well, they commented the fact that, well, maybe accuracy has been an issue. Okay, cool. Let's go look to fix accuracy, right? Maybe our order takers need to slow down a little bit and make sure that they're order taking right.
I saw a meme the other day, and it was about the order taker at the drive-thru. Anything else?
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else? And the meme said, "Wait a McMinute, like give me a McMinute." Like, and that's they're just people want to move on to the next. Let me take the next order. Let me take the next order, and not realize that, hey, maybe don't ask me if I need anything else,
right?
Repetitively,
go slow to go fast type stuff sometimes. But that's the nature of the beast to a degree. So how do we coach and improve and help our team understand that? Like, because if we get the order wrong, there's no chance for anybody else to get it right? Like if you go and say only ketchup instead of no ketchup, like the grill team has no chance of getting it right. So order taking process, it's not just the longest process, but it's the one that we have to get right.
But that's accuracy. And accuracy goes into overall satisfaction. And that goes into the this and that and all these other things. So what is that whole for us called? What is that measure?
When you're looking holistically at all these different categories, right? Like, because we can talk customer satisfaction, we can talk speed, accuracy, like literally everything that components, ultimately we're going to put that into the PACE standings, right? And the PACE standings for McDonald's purposes basically measures the success individually of every restaurant on how they're showing success. And what's nice is it now gets updated at least once a week, if not more.
Yeah.
So we can constantly see, right, from a scoreboard, we can constantly see where we're at. And it's giving us the measures on what we do to improve, to move forward. So the concerns that we have is we have to do the daily things in order to get the weekly results. And the weekly we get the monthly, but we get so caught up in what we're doing wrong that we don't take the time to say, okay, we've done this wrong, but we don't have to do it wrong today or tomorrow. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So we've got PACE, customer satisfaction. We've got profit, make some money.
And PACE. Like ultimately, you're looking at profit and PACE, right? And then customer satisfaction, right? Like all of that stuff, right? Those three things. What do you expect from me on a daily basis? I expect us to be profitable, right? I expect us to provide great service, which is going to improve our PACE standings. And I expect us to be able to collect data from our customers, asking them for feedback, so we can improve those other metrics.
So we've been talking about internals a lot, right? And that's the knowledge piece behind something. So how does that fit in with the 3 expectations then? Because that's our wig right now is every day do an internal.
Right, and I didn't even mention internals. So what's great about internal verifications, Riley, is that it's going to really encompass all of those things that we're asking for, right? So the better shifts we have, the more profitable they can become, because now all of a sudden, instead of having to cut, we're raising sales and we're having add-ons and we're building the business instead of just trying to cut, right? And then from a shift manager standpoint too, the more successful shifts are going to be faster. They're going to have better guest experiences, right? The delivery,
people are going to come back.
They're going to keep coming back, but our managers have to be confident and comfortable, and that's where the internals come in. And the more we practice those, the more we tie our shoes, right, the easier it becomes. It becomes second nature. And that's the issue we're facing right now is our shift managers don't always understand what those expectations are or what success really looks like. They're just putting food in a bag.
Because they probably think, oh, they're talking about these internals a lot. Like, what's the point? What's the point? Like, whatever that sentiment is. But you just said it.
But it is true. Like people are asking, like I don't have time. Like I love what we do and how we do. And I think it's human nature to not have time, right? Like I can go binge Netflix for, all day, every day, but I don't have time to work on myself. I can go, play some fantasy football because that's what I love, right? And it's football season now. And I can go spend hours, right, trying to find, but I don't take the time to invest in the business or into what tomorrow could be. Or so the internal verifications, they're not just, and I heard this, so I'm going to steal it from Kate, our general manager. But she said the internals don't just improve the shift manager, they improve the person who's doing the internal, the grader themselves too, because now the grader has to think about their expectations, and the grader has to maybe have hard conversations with the shift manager who maybe missed and has missed those same questions over and over again, right? So the internals are more than just a piece of paper.
Absolutely.
And the people who say we don't have time, it's because we're not taking the time. So to connect that dot about time, we don't have the time because our shift managers don't yet have the ability to run shifts without us having to overshadow that or oversee that or maybe flex in too much.
Yeah. All those things.
So, I mean, if you look, I know it is a lot, but like the whole point of this conversation, right, is to help our team define the 2 or 3 things that we're expecting of them on a daily basis. Because if we can keep those things simple, if we can break it down to those 3 things.
And that can go all the way down to the crew.
100%. Hey, crew, hey, you're walking into your shift, you're in back cash today, here's my expectations, right? I expect you to say hi to everybody, right, when they pull up. I expect you to verify their order for accuracy when they pull up. And I expect you to thank them and ask them to give us feedback, right? Like it can be that simple. And then all of a sudden they know what that looks like to you so they can feel successful.
And then just because my brain's going all over the place right now during this awesome conversation, give feedback too during that whole. That's the internal part is the feedback and the coaching. So you tell that person the expectation and say they hit 2 out of 3. Great. That's just next day they work. Hey, good job doing that the other day. Make sure we focus on thanking them or whatever that conversation.
Well, remember shift huddles. Right?
No, I don't think I ever did one.
Yeah, but McDonald's always said shift huddle. Like, but if you're walking in and I have you in the back cash, like, how easy is it for me to say, "Hey, Riley, I'm glad you showed up today. We're gonna have a really good shift. A couple expectations on the shift. We're gonna hit this number, this number." And how you can help that is by saying hi to every guest, right? Confirming every order and asking them for feedback.
Doesn't
right?
It sound awesome? Like I want to go work that shift. I want to go work a shift. I want to go into work and have a shift huddle.
But it can be that easy.
Yeah.
And we overcomplicate this stuff. Or we don't set expectations and then, all of a sudden 30 minutes later we're doing a travel path like, "Hey, Riley, you're not saying hi and you're not asking and you're not but I didn't ask you to do those things." So keep it simple, right? Set some expectations on a daily basis. That way just lives can be easier.
Absolutely. So. Sounds awesome. I'm excited. I'm jazzed up. Our vision, our wig, our expectations. Make sure you have those conversations with your teams. This trickles down all the way to crew. So if you're assistant, shift manager, general manager, even consultant, make sure you guys are having those conversations and setting those expectations with your team. Cool.
Perfect.
Listen, learn, lead. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on Buns, Burgers, and Big Ideas. We hope today's episode inspired fresh ideas for your leadership journey. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode and keep learning with us as we continue to explore leadership in the QSR world. Until next time, take care and lead well.